I went to the drawer and I looked at them and I said, I haven't seen you for so long. Let me look at you. Let me take you out and let me feel you. And I thought, oh my God, I'm an addict. I'm an absolute addict.
The tranquilizers Lisa was taking are called benzodiazepines. In London, pharmacologist John Littleton believes these drugs and alcohol may have a similar effect on brain cells.
I was struck by the fact that a large proportion of the patients we were treating were alcoholics, and that there was really very little we could do for them, and there was very little understanding of the kind of changes that happened in brain as a result of long-term administration of drugs, including alcohol, but also including things like benzodiazepines. All right, Joyce, what have we got here today?
Here's our keratin cells, looking quite good, isn't it?
Sure. Okay. We were interested in the way in which alcohol affected nerve cells, particularly because nerve cell excitability is inhibited by alcohol, and this probably results in the intoxication that one gets with alcohol. Now, other drugs probably also inhibit nerve cell excitability, but nerve cells in different parts of the brain, so that, for example, morphine will produce a loss of pain sensation and will produce euphoria. But the actual effect on the nerve cell is probably a reduction in the excitability of the nerve cell. And what we found is that in the continued presence of alcohol, we think the nerve cells adapt so that their excitability regains its normal level.
It is calcium channels which allow electrical charges to enter a cell. Chronic use of some drugs or alcohol suppresses these channels, so the cell compensates by making more channels. When the drug or alcohol is stopped, both old and new channels can operate. So the nerve cell overreacts, producing the painful symptoms of withdrawal.
I would experience electric shocks going all over my body, and my skin felt as though I'd been scalded with hot water. I felt as though my body was actually falling apart, that my arms and legs would come off, and that my chest would just fall open. I felt as though my brain was clogged up with the debris and the dead stuff from tranquilizers and sleeping tablets. So when I stopped taking them, it was as though my thought processes were rivers, and there were thousands and thousands of these. And some were still blocked, and the water couldn't get through. And some were flooding, and some were crossing over, and there was so much thought, there were so many thought processes forming a sort of river, and it was crazy. I couldn't cope with it. It was insanity.
We think that this change in the number of calcium channels may be a common mechanism which underlies the development of physical dependence on drugs which depress the nervous system. And by drugs which depress the nervous system, I mean alcohol, benzodiazepines, barbiturates, and morphine.
So since Vietnam, researchers have made crucial progress in understanding the effects of drugs on nerve cells.